Right now, you're wearing something that took humanity 50,000 years to invent. Not the fabric, not the color, the stitch. Because before the stitch existed, winter didn't just kill people slowly, it killed them fast. A body wrapped in a loose animal hide, flapping open at every gap, loses heat the second the wind finds a way in. And on the Ice Age steppe, the wind always found a way in. This is the true story of how humans invented clothing. Not fur thrown over shoulders, not the caveman costume you've seen in every cartoon. Something far stranger, far more advanced, and far more desperate. Because for over 100,000 years, humans had fur-covered bodies wrapped in loose hides and still froze to death in staggering numbers. Something had to change. And what changed it wasn't a new material. It was a tiny sliver of bone with a hole through one end. The needle. Archaeologists have pulled eyed sewing needles out of Ice Age sites dating back over 40,000 years. Carved from bone, sanded down to a sliver thinner than a modern toothpick, with an eye small enough to thread with sinew. And that single object changes everything we thought we knew about prehistoric humans. Because a needle means one thing: fitted clothing, not draped skins, not a fur cape thrown over the shoulder and hoped for the best. Tailored, stitched, shaped to the body garments engineered to trap heat instead of leaking it out through every gap. Think about what that required. Someone had to notice that loose hides failed. Someone had to figure out that tight seams held in warmth. Someone had to design a tool precise enough to punch a hole through leather without splitting it, then pull sinew through that hole hundreds of times per garment, every single winter, for their entire life. This wasn't decoration. This was engineering, and getting it wrong meant frostbite, and frostbite on the Ice Age steppe meant death. So what did these garments actually look like? Researchers studying burial sites in Russia found something that stopped them cold. At Sunghir, a 30,000-year-old burial site, archaeologists uncovered the remains of two children buried side by side, and thousands of ivory beads scattered across their bodies in dense, deliberate rows. Rows that traced the outline of fitted shirts, trousers, and boots. The beads weren't just jewelry. They were sewn directly onto the fabric of the clothing itself, meaning these garments had shape. Sleeves, leg coverings, a waistline. This is not a fur cape. This is a wardrobe. And the sophistication goes deeper. Ancient tailors weren't using a single kind of material for the whole outfit. They were choosing different furs for different jobs, the same way you choose different fabrics today without even thinking about it. Dense, fine fur from foxes and hares lined the inside of garments, worn against the skin, trapping a thin cushion of warm air close to the body. Tougher, coarser hides from animals like reindeer or bison formed the outer shell, built to shed wind, snow, and rain before it ever reached the warm layer underneath. Read that back: an inner layer for warmth, an outer layer for weatherproofing. That is, piece for piece, function for function, the exact same three-layer system printed on the tag inside any modern winter jacket. Base layer. Insulation, weatherproof shell. They invented it around 25,000 years before anyone filed a patent for it. And it didn't stop at the torso. Cold kills fastest at the extremities. Hands, feet, ears, and Ice Age tailors clearly understood this because the archaeological record shows fitted boots, separate mittens, and even hoods, each one shaped to its specific body part rather than one shapeless blanket wrapped around everything. Footwear alone is a masterclass in problem solving. Otsai pros, cold feet on wet ground meant frostbite within the hour, so ancient boots were built in layers too. An inner sole of soft grass or moss for insulation and moisture absorption. A middle layer of fur. An outer hide, tightly stitched and often waterproofed with rendered animal fat rubbed directly into the seams. Grease is the detail people skip past, and it shouldn't be skipped. Rendered fat rubbed into hide seams did the same job modern seam tape does in a waterproof jacket. It sealed the needle holes so water couldn't creep in through the very stitches holding the garment together. Every solution created a new problem, and every new problem got solved. But clothing this advanced didn't appear out of nowhere. It came from failure. From bodies found frozen with hides simply wrapped and tied rather than shaped and sewn. From generations of trial, error, and death, slowly refining a system through nothing but observation and memory, passed from one set of hands to the next, because there was no written record to save any of it if someone forgot. That's the part that should stop you. No blueprints, no manuals, no archived diagrams, just a chain of teaching stretching across thousands of years, each generation improving the stitch just slightly, because getting it wrong meant a child didn't survive the winter. And the labor behind a single outfit was staggering. Estimates based on bead placement at Sunghir suggest thousands of hours went into producing the beadwork alone on those children's garments, meaning entire families, maybe entire communities, invested enormous time into clothing a single person for winter. This wasn't something you threw together in an afternoon. This was seasonal industry, planned months ahead, the same way the shelters were built in late summer for a winter still far away. Because clothing didn't work alone. It worked as part of a system, alongside heated shelters, alongside stockpiled fuel, alongside stored food. Remove any one piece and the whole survival machine failed. The best boots in the world couldn't save you if your shelter had no fire. The best shelter couldn't save you if you had no boots to hunt in. So when you picture Ice Age humans, stop picturing shivering figures in shapeless furs, waiting for the sun to return. Picture tailors. Picture people cutting hide with stone blades, punching holes with bone needles, threading sinew by firelight, choosing fox fur for warmth and bison hide for wind, rubbing fat into seams to keep water out, stitching hour after hour long into the dark winter night because their children's survival depended on getting every seam right. They didn't inherit warm clothing. They built the very idea of it from nothing, using bone, hide, and thousands of years of hard-earned failure. And the coat on your back tonight, however far it's traveled from theirs in materials and machinery, still follows the same rules they discovered in the dark. Trap the warm air in. Keep the wind and water out. You didn't invent staying warm, you inherited it. From people who had nothing to guide them except cold, time, and the refusal to let their children freeze.